Assalamu alaikum students. In today's lecture we will study about DCL, data control language. Actually this is a language which is used to control privileges in a database. It deals with the data access. It can be used to specify that which data can be accessed by which user. So far we have studied about the SQL commands. Then we studied about DDL, DQL, DML, and today we will study about DCL, data control language. In data control language we have two things, grant and revoke. These are the objectives for today's lecture. The first thing is to understand about the privileges, that which type of privileges are available for us and how can we assign these privileges to users, and once assigned, then how can we revoke or cancel these granted rights or privileges. Meanwhile, we will also look into the user management, because these all are associated with the users. So we will also learn that how can we manage users, and at the end we will study about roles, and we will look into the assignment of roles to different users and assignment of privileges to roles. These are the contents. First we have introduction. We will have a brief introduction about DCL. Then the grant, how can grant be used for assigning privileges to users. Then we have some examples for grant. Then how can we revoke the assigned privileges, some examples for revoke, and after that we will study about the roles. And roles, we will create some roles, we will create users for roles, and then we will assign roles to the users. During this lecture we will also practice some commands about DCL. Actually, DCL is about the assignment of privileges in an environment where we have multiple users of a database. Simply we can say that using DCL we can grant and revoke privileges to different users. So in DCL we have actually two things. First one is grant, the second thing is revoke. With the help of these two commands we assign privileges to users, and we may cancel these assignments with the help of revoke. So about DCL we have a definition. DCL commands are used to enforce data security in a multi-user database environment. We have two commands, grant and revoke. Actually in the database administrators of the database object can provide or remove privileges on a database object. Database objects can be database itself, it can be views, it can be tables, and even a single attribute in the table. With the help of grant command we can provide access or privileges to a single user or multiple users, so they may use objects. The syntax for this command is grant, this is a keyword, then the privilege name, it can be select, it can be update, delete, execute, anything. Then we have another keyword on, and the name of object. It can be the entire database, it can be a table, and even it can be a column in a table. We can also apply this on other objects like transactions, functions, views, etc. So after that we must mention the user. So for that we must type to and then username It can be a particular user, or it can be public. By public we mean all the users. So if we type public, it will be applied on all the users. And even we can specify a role here. About role, we have some slides. I will let you know what does role mean in this topic. And then we have grant option, which allows users to grant access rights to other users. Like if I want a user to be allowed to use this grant command, so I can apply it with the help of this grant option. We have some examples about grant. The first one is to see the list of all assigned privileges to a particular user, or we can say that to show all the grants for a particular user. So now we will check this in our workbench. First of all, we need the list of all the users, and then we will apply that show grant command. So for list of users, I will type select static from MySQL .user. With the help of this query, I will get the list of all users in our MySQL server. So here we have the list for all the users, and we have host, then username, and we have attributes for the privileges. Like we have select privilege, then insert, update, delete, create. There are so many privileges in this list. Now I want to check the grants for user 1. So here I am going to type show grants for the name of user is user1 at, it lies at localhost. So here for user1 we have grant usage, it can use grant, and it has a role, that is role 1. Now let's have a look for root. So here I am going to type root. Root is actually the administrator of this database. So for root we have grant, select, insert, update, delete. There are almost all the privileges available for root. The next example is to allow user 1 to use select queries. We can say that grant select privilege on student database. The name of database is student.static, means all the objects lying inside student. These can be all the tables, views, procedures, anything which is inside student database to the user, which is user1 and lying in local host. So we are going to check this, but before practicing this query, we need to know about the user creation. So there are actually two methods for creating a user in Workbench. First one is through code, and the second one is through the interface. So I will let you know about these two methods. First, check all the users. So I am executing this select query again. Here we have user 1. Before creating a new user, let's delete this user 1. So for this we need drop user. The name of user is user1 and its host name is localhost. This user has been deleted. Check it again. Now there is no user 1 in the list. Now we need to create a new user. So we have two methods. First one is through interface, the second one is through code. So the first method is to create user through this interface. So here we have administration under navigator. Usually we use this schemas tab for our databases, but for administration we need this tab to be activated. Here in this tab we have users and privileges. With the help of this link we can easily create a new user. So here we have the list of users and I need to create a new user. So for that purpose I will click add account. Here I'm gonna give the name of new user. Here I am typing test user and the host name is localhost because we are using our database on our system, so there is no need to type any IP of a remote system. Then type password again, and here we have apply button. Apply. This user has been created. We have test user here in the list. Now we have some other tools in this interface too. We can limit the operations, we can reduce or we can limit the number of queries to be executed by test user. Here 0 means that user is allowed to execute any number of queries. We have number of updates, connections, and then concurrent corrections. Then we have administrative roles. We can assign privileges here also, but no need to assign any privilege to test user because we will do this by our code. And we can also assign particular roles or a set of privileges on some schemas to test user. Now we are going back to our code. Here let me check whether this user is created or not. Look, this test user has been created. Now it is present in the list and it has no privilege. All the privileges are NNN, means no privileges are assigned to this test user. Through code we can create a user with the help of create user query. So we need to type create user, then name of the user, at name of the host, we are using localhost, then identified by password. So I am giving 12345 as password. With the help of this command we will create a user named as user1. So create user, name of user is user1, at host name is localhost, and identified by password 123456. So with the help of this command we will create a new user at localhost. The name of user would be user1 and its password would be 123456. This user has been created. Let's check the list of users by select query. Here we have user1 and it has no privilege in the list. So we created test user by using the administration tab and then user and privileges link, and then we created user1 with the help of this command. In this tab we are using root as our user and we can access all these databases and contents inside these databases. For example, if I type here use student and then show tables are displayed, then select static from std, content lying in the table std are also displayed with the help of select query. Now we will log in with our new user, which was user 1. So I'm going to home, and here I will need a new connection. Here I need to type user 1 and I'm giving a name as test connection. First we need to test this connection. Password was 123456. Okay, it's working. Okay, this connection has been created. Now if you look at into the schemas, none of the databases is present in this list. Previously we had all the databases present in this tab, but for user 1 there is nothing inside schemas tab. So it means that this new user is not allowed to use any operation on these databases. We need to assign some privileges to user 1. So for that purpose we will execute some commands. Let's go back to our examples. So the second example is about giving select privilege to user 1 for student database. So for this purpose we will type this code in our workbench. Now I will move to the root user, and here I will type the command for granting the select privilege to user 1 on student database. So grant select on, name of the database is student.static. Static means all the objects lying in student, to user 1, this was the name of our user, at localhost. This query has been executed. Now if we go back to user 1, we will be able to see the student database. It is present here. All the tables are present in student. Now let's execute the select query. So use student. The student database has been selected. Select static from std. It's working. Now we can use select query on this student database under user 1. Let's check another query. I'm typing insert query. So insert into, table name is std, values, these are reg, s name and address. So for reg, let me check what is the data type of reg. It would be integer. Yes, it is integer. So here I am typing 20, then name and address. Let's check whether this query is working or not under user 1 on student. Control enter. it's not working. We got an error and it says insert command denied to user1 at localhost for table std. So it means that the user1 has been given the select privilege only. Insert privilege is not available for user1. So if we need to grant this insert privilege to user1, we can use the similar query. Now let's give select and insert privilege to user1 on student, execute it, and here under user we will try this query again. It's working now. So it means that before it was only select, so insert was not working, but when we executed this grant with select and insert, you can also execute this without select, only insert is enough for insert query. So when we executed this command, after that user1 got the privilege for insert operation. So after that this query worked. Now if we look into the table, we will have this registration number 20 in the list. Yes, it is present here. If we need to grant all the privileges to user1 on all the databases, then we need this query, grant all on static.static to user1 at local host. Now if you look at into our this user1, it is working with the select and insert. We can grant all the privileges to this user by simply replacing this insert and select with all keyword. Grant all on student is static to user1 at localhost. By executing this command, user1 would be able to execute all the operations on student database. You can also replace this by static dot static. It would mean that student previously it was student, now user1 would be able to execute all type of operations on all the databases. But first check the user1, it has access to student1. Now I am executing this query. Now go back to user1, refresh it. It's not working. We will restart this connection and see what happens. Now it has access to all the databases. We can execute any type of query, any type of command on any of these databases. Here we have student database. Inside we have a table std, and inside std we have 3 columns. Suppose we want to give some privileges on these attributes. Let's say I'm giving select privilege on 2 of these attributes and insert or update privilege on 1 of these attributes. For that purpose we must specify the column names inside the table. Here I am applying select privilege for user1 on student database, and inside student database we have std table, and inside std table we have 2 columns, registration and name for select privilege, and for update privilege we have address. So in this way we can specify a particular column inside a table in a database for the grant query. Similarly, we can also use this grant operation for assigning the execute privilege on a particular procedure for a particular user.